Releasing in 1993, Link's Awakening was a huge adventure packed into a tiny little game cartridge for the Game Boy. On release, the game was incredibly impressive for a portable Zelda experience on the go, with beautiful music and some wonderful sprite art. 26 years later, Link's Awakening returned in the form of a remake for the Nintendo Switch in 2019, boasting a huge overall improvement to the visuals with a cute, toy diorama-like art style. The huge improvement to the graphics was absolutely important, but I'd actually like to talk about the massive improvements made to the sound design of this game. So with your permission, let's go on a little adventure of our own as we explore a few of the changes to the sound design in Link's Awakening. To start with, let's listen to one of my favorite aspects of sound design, Foley, particularly Link's footsteps. Funnily enough, as you can hear from these clips, the original game has no Foley sounds for when Link walks, but the remake goes from 0 to 100 instantly, with some beautiful sound design for his footsteps. As he walks from grass to dirt to stone, we hear his boots connecting with the ground and producing the appropriate sound for the texture he is currently standing on. This is one of those small sounds that are easily overlooked when playing, but when we compare the two games side by side, the Foley makes a staggering difference in improving the reactive audio feedback of the game and overall sound design of the whole experience. If you like that sound, I think you're going to love this next one. Take a listen to how a cave sounds different across these games. Now that is a huge difference. There's a lovely shatter sound when Link destroys those crystal mounds with his sword in the original game, and a theatrical falling sound effect as he slips into a crevice. But in the remake, this whole room is given new life. The flapping of the bat's wings can now be heard, echoing and reverberating throughout the whole cave, really adding to the visual construction of this space to make it more recognizable as a large, dangerous cave. The shattering of the crystal mounds has also been revamped here, making it sound more like an actual fragile crystal shattering apart when being struck. Seeing as how we're talking about a Zelda game today, we have to take a look at the iconic item pickup sound and see if that is any different. So these sounds are different, but not in the same way as the last two examples. When we're talking about the extra layers added to the sounds in the cave or the Foley of Link walking, these are extra elements that have been added on in the remake. But this item pickup sound has remained largely unchanged in regards to the sound itself. It's simply a recording of the sound that has been redone due to changes in hardware, allowing for a much higher quality sound than the original Game Boy limitation could achieve. Not only that, but while we're here in the forest, just take a listen to the difference between the music and ambience. It's staggering how amazing it sounds in the remake. Where the original game had a high-pitched beeping sound to accompany the text, almost like it was imitating speech, the remake no longer has that beeping, and now plays small little voice samples occasionally during dialogue. But the remake did retain the little sound that plays when the player presses the button to move on to the next line of dialogue, which is a quite charming little callback to the original game. Take a listen. Here's a few more rapid-fire examples of interesting differences I noticed between these two games. That's all I've got for you today. Thank you for joining me for a quick look at some of the interesting comparisons when it comes to the sound design between Link's Awakening for the Game Boy and Link's Awakening for the Switch. Next week we're going to be taking an in-depth look at the sound design of Earthbound for the Super Nintendo. Hope to see you there.